Hey guys, this is the Fractal Pianist, or the Crypto Pianist, whatever you feel like calling me, and I felt like making another video to give you guys an update on what's going on, because I figure the more updates we give, the more we can keep talking about it, and the more I can, share whatever is going on and the news with you, which is the whole point of this video blog. Anyway, so today's developments with Ethereum. Honestly, today, when it comes to Ethereum, it's more about Bitcoin when it comes to Ethereum today. It uh, it appears like Bitcoin's price is just shooting up, while Ethereum's is staying pretty consistent, which is pretty neat. Anyway, so Bitcoin right now is as of right before I shot this video, has shot up to 575 US dollars. That's pretty crazy. I'm pretty sure yesterday was like 550 and today it's 575 and climbing. It doesn't seem to be abating. And what's really cool is that the Ethereum price has remained pretty stable around $13.60 the whole time. So I decided, as usual, go ahead on coincap.com or .io and go ahead and check what the total market cap of both are. And to my surprise, it Ethereum is still at 1.1 billion, while Bitcoin just hit $9 billion, or it's literally like $5 million. It's right, $9 billion. It was like 7 billion about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. It's insane. So, as I mentioned in the last video, it's awesome because this is further proof that Ethereum is no longer directly influenced by Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes up, Ethereum does not any longer necessarily have to go down. And so I was reading some speculation, some market speculation. Some people are saying that actually, it's not all to do with what it looks like. It might not be what it seems, and it might not just be because China's yuan currency is going down that they are putting all the money in Bitcoin. There might be other factors, and I definitely have to agree. It's hard to just to single and say that this is the reason that this is going up, and then just simplify things. But like everything else in life, it's a complex set of situations that cause anything. So some people are saying, and I might have to agree, I'm just saying the facts that people have said it, which is that it might be because people are spending their Bitcoin, or they were spending their Bitcoin on Ethereum. So now that they've invested a fair amount of money into Ethereum, and it's pretty much stabilized, I think that they and the other people are saying that people are now buying back what they basically bought into Ethereum. So, which is awesome, which means that people are holding both. They're holding both Ethereum and Bitcoin, which is awesome for both because they both have a positive future in this kind of sense. At least until the halvening, whatever you call it. Halvening is kind of like a bad grammar, but halvening, as people like to say, and then we'll see what happens. What's really cool to me to watch happen is that I've watched Ethereum become a ground for people who trade it. You get it, and then the price goes up, and you sell it, and then it goes back down, and then you buy it again. And people are doing this, and then what I'm finding now is that after all these people who bought the pre-sale of Ethereum, who bought these Ethereum tokens at such a small price, less than $1, and after they sold a good amount of shares around the $10, $11 mark when Ethereum got there, which is around when I got in, the price obviously corrected for a bit and went back down to around 6, 7, and it seems like traders are really dropping out of Ethereum, of that whole market, and it's becoming more long-term investors, which is so positive for the environment. People are believing now the Ethereum network. They're no longer seeing it just an alternative to Bitcoin, just another coin. They're seeing Ethereum almost as its own. It's getting articles saying this might really be a rival, even though I don't necessarily think that, to Bitcoin. But it's definitely testing Bitcoin. We can all agree that development in Bitcoin has been stagnant. That if they do manage to scale Bitcoin, allow 75,000 plus transactions like Visa instead of the 7 that they're currently doing, that they'd have to use something like the Lightning Network, which would take transactions off of the blockchain and into side chains, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of having a blockchain in the first place, especially if it's going to reduce decentralization and maybe give a few people that network and that ability to create such protocols. And to me, it seems like it defeats kind of the purpose. So I don't know if that's necessarily the solution that we might want for scalability. But Ethereum seems to have, sharding and all these different things. And besides the fact that we already have 15-second block times, and we can do 25 transactions per second versus the 7 that Bitcoin does. I mean, in my opinion, I think Ethereum is leaps and bounds. And sure, there are other alternative coins like Lisk or whatever that definitely have fast block times, but it's not just about that. It's about the developers behind it, the ideas behind it. Because you look at Steve Jobs and his passing and the innovation that he created for Apple by being a dreamer, regardless of what he had to do to get there. But he created Apple, and then what's going to Apple now? They don't really have that innovation. They're kind of stagnant. And so Satoshi was that initial spark. I mean, for the whole blockchain, for everything. But either he's dead, or he is an alien or a ninja, or Craig Wright. Nah, it's not that guy. But my point is, he's not in the scene anymore for whatever reason. Whereas for Ethereum, we have all these creative minds, Vitalik. We have some boy genius out there. We've got just such positivity, and I think positivity rewards positivity. And I think that the snowball is just beginning down to avalanche down the mountain and growing and growing and growing. Whereas Bitcoin, it's not really doing too much except the fact that we expect the halving to bring something. And last time that the halving happened in 2012, it took a while for the price to skyrocket. I'm sure a lot of people were aware of that. It didn't just happen right away. As soon as the last halving 4 years ago happened for Bitcoin, it happened a few months later, like at least 5-6 months afterwards. So what's worrying to me is that people who do decide to buy for the halving all this Bitcoin, that's possibly why the price is shooting up, are either going to sell early so the price will eventually drop before maybe inflating when transactions finally speed up and they're processed as more miners drop out and it takes longer for them to process transactions, and then the price will go up. I do think that Bitcoin will go up. I do think that the price is heavily based currently on speculation, people buying before the halving. I do think that directly after the halving, price may drop for some time or stabilize right there, and then will shoot up by the end of the year. I definitely agree with that, and I think that's positive for the Ethereum community. And I think that we should not be negative toward Bitcoin if we are in the Ethereum community, because we, especially now, have seen that they're independent of each other. They can both live together. There's plenty of money and wealth in the world to give both life, and they both have their own uses. But if I had to personally invest long term, I'm going to stick with Ethereum because I see the possibility for growth, for development, for more discussion, for leadership, for whereas Bitcoin, I don't know. I just it was fun, but it's MySpace in a way, as people keep saying, but it might be. I still have my MySpace. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's not my Facebook. Nobody uses it. And so, I do have some money in Bitcoin, as I mentioned. I have more in Ethereum. So anyway, people are dumping their Bitcoin, in a way they were, to buy Ethereum, as word got out about its price shooting up 1,100% back in the day. And so people are trying to recoup back their Bitcoin, such as I did, because they had to use Bitcoin to buy Ethereum, which is not necessarily the case all the time anymore. And so now they're buying back Bitcoin that they bought for Ethereum, and now they're invested in both, which is awesome because you don't see one go up and the other go down, and just literally playing with the same money. Like, we have new money coming into crypto, into all these other coins, And the more coins there are, the more money that's in it, the more nations that support this or that, or people that are talking about this or that. I mean, crypto in general, people become more aware about this. And if that huge crash that is supposed to happen this year, and I was watching a documentary about 50 minutes talking about just how 2008, all these bailouts and everything, and how we've just been delaying the biggest crash in the market for a while. And I have money in the stock market, but I have a fair amount in crypto to balance it out. And what do you do when people start losing 50%, 40%? People could say go up to 80, 90% of the money in the stock market could drop out. They look at things the wide public currently knows, and that they're already talking about, because everybody expects this crash. You can just look it up, and not just the conspiracy theorists, but all the analysts. What are they going to look at? They're going to look at precious metals. They're going to look at physical objects, my house. They're going to look at things that are they can see. They're going to look at gold. They're going to look at silver. They're going to look at platinum. But I think the smart ones of us are looking already now at virtual and digital gold. We're looking at Ethereum. We're looking at blockchains. We're looking at Bitcoin. And what's really cool is that now you can't just say that something like Ethereum is just only has value because of our minds. No, because now you can go on Digix, Digix.io, a startup, and just send them some ether and buy some tokens that are worth actual gold in real life. How cool is that? You can send pieces of gold, whereas instead of having to mail whole gold bars and going to FedEx and shipping this and that, you can literally just send representations of it, which are US dollars no longer backed by. It's a real store of wealth. And I think the smart ones are choosing to hold on to their wealth now by looking into things like gold and silver and those kinds of assets. Whereas those who end up panicking and losing their money last minute, you know, maybe they'll buy some Bitcoin and Ethereum at that point. I'm sure money will be funneled into it as inflation happens, but I think those of us who are looking into it now, who are picking up our Digix now, who own our Ethereum now, what are they going to do? Shut down every computer? They can't. At the end of the day, you own what you own, and you believe what you believe, and you believe that Ethereum has value, that blockchains, Bitcoins have value, which more and more people are believing. Then why should you believe in a piece of paper that's printed wantonly, as I keep saying, ubiquitously, whenever they feel like they have to bail out or they have to release some of the reserve money, and they control what things are worth? Why should we feel like we believe in that? And we pay their taxes with what they want us to pay, instead of deciding what we, from me to you, from me to the person at Burger King, from me to the person at Walmart, to me to whoever is selling me a good or a service or a cab or an apple, an orange, or meat. Why don't I pay them in something else? Something that I see currently is growing unimpededly every day, has never really been hacked, like we've talked about in the discussions on the comments. Exchanges have been hacked, but neither Ethereum nor Bitcoin have ever been really hacked into the protocol. And I can send basically without any transaction fees immediately across the world. Why would I choose to use something old? Like, it's like you could go with snail mail versus email, but why not just use email if we're just gonna be modern? And I'm all about the wealth being a little more shared. I think there are a lot more people who stand to gain a lot more money from the rise of blockchains now, and people who will come on board as time goes by, than those who currently own the dollar or any other currency and are intent on keeping what they already have and keep that growing. And those small select 1%, as they say, few, keep growing their wealth. Like, why can't we level the playing field on a widely distributed, decentralized platform that really says modern. I wouldn't imagine why. Anyway, what else happened? So Digix, as I talked about, he released a new website. They're making it easier and easier to buy the gold tokens. So I would highly suggest you look into Digix and their gold-backed tokens pretty early, and even buy some DGD owners of the Digix DAO, as they say, on the exchanges if you're interested in making profits off the transactions. I would not drop my phone like I just did, and my camera. But yeah, obviously you guys are hungry. You're very hungry for information and staying ahead and you're ahead of the curve, though. I'm just happy to be here for the ride and trying to see if there's anything else that I read today that might have been interesting. I don't know. All eyes seem to be on Bitcoin right now, and I think they will be until the July halving, as I mentioned. A lot of eyes will be on Bitcoin, but after the big event happens, the big event horizon, I think when the price really settles for Bitcoin and stays there, and there's no happening imminent within 4 years, I do think a lot of money are going to look to what they really want if they're going to be using this currency, which is something that's fast, something that's innovative, something that isn't stuck centralized in China and on their whims of the core develops versus classic and all that nonsense. I'd rather send Ethereum. 15 seconds? Is it 15 minutes? I don't know. It just, to me, it seems right. I don't think I'm crazy, and I think that the benefits of Ethereum are immediately noticeable if you pick some up. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. As always, leave comments below. Hit like if you want to see this shoot up in the search so that people can find it and join this community. And please start the discussion with your friends, with your family members, with your own YouTube videos, with your own social media. Because only by growing the community can we grow quicker. I have no doubt that it's gonna keep growing. But help your family, help your friends, help people get in early because it's a good thing to do. And I do think that those who aren't early like you probably are stand to make a lot more. And yeah, I bid you adieu. Thanks for watching.